Hello, Clutter Warrior. Today, we're going to talk about decluttering our communication. And something that has been a pet peeve of mine, I wonder if it's a pet peeve of yours, is this way that we have of saying, I'm sorry you feel that way, as some sort of passive aggressive apology. Let's be clear that if it should ever come out of our mouths, right, my mouth or your mouth, or we have to really look at what are we doing there? What are we trying to say? And what are we not willing to say? Which is probably, I don't really care about your feelings. And I'm not willing to change my behavior to alter that outcome at all. Right? So I'm just going to draw a little boundary and say, I'm sorry you feel that way. And it's a completely unyielding statement, because I think we can all agree that when somebody says it to us, well, I can't speak for you, I can speak for myself. When somebody says that to me, it really gets my blood pressure accelerating. Because I think it's bullshit. I don't know how you could say that to somebody with a straight face if you actually were sorry. So when we are trying to connect with another person, if we actually care about that other person, we would really care how they feel in dialogue with us, in the same way that we would hope they would care how we feel whether they've initiated the conversation or not, right? It's just when we are focusing on somebody else and their language and communication, that's one thing. And when we're focusing on our own communication, it's another thing, but they are obviously cousins or siblings in the unstuffing or decluttering your communication worldview. So when we're monitoring our own language and we're looking at how we talk to other people, where is the opportunity to tell our truth simply and directly and own it? I'm not going to say that it's easy or even comfortable to sit with somebody's disappointment, frustration, upset. We don't need to take it on, but it's also, I think, disingenuous and aggressive, even passive aggressive, right? To say, "Ooh, I'm sorry that you feel that way," because it's like saying, I'm sorry to interrupt you. If I was sorry to interrupt you, I wouldn't be interrupting you, right? It's the way that you would say that and actually be in alignment with your values. And the truth would be, I need to interrupt you. And I bet you have something else planned or something else that you're working on, and I need to get your attention. I get that it might not be convenient. And in this moment, I'm placing my needs ahead of yours. So there you've told the truth. You've taken responsibility for your behavior. And now you get to hear how the other person feels about you putting your needs first, as opposed to, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you, but, right? As we also know, if we've done any investigation or work around communication, we know that when you insert a but into an apology, everything that comes after the but really dismantles or negates everything that came before the but. There's no point in saying the first part if what you really want to focus on is the second part. It's one of those funny things, right? But is a peculiar hinge in the middle of a sentence. Be better to say, I am sorry to interrupt you, and I get that this might not be convenient. A simple swapping out of the word and for but keeps you in alignment and keeps the meaning of what you're saying accurate rather than deflecting it. So back to the, I'm sorry you feel that way. It's just a way to pretend to acknowledge somebody's feelings when in fact there's no acknowledgement. There's no interest in resolving what might be making you feel the way you're feeling. It's just, again, it's like a bullshit slap in the face without actually slapping you in the face. So you can see how upsetting it might be when somebody says it to you. This is an opportunity for us to keep our side of the street clean and look at ways when we have the impulse to want to say, buzz off. I'm really not interested in how you feel or resolving it in any way. I'm not partnering up with you to solve the problem. It's your problem. You're going to deal with it, and I'm not interested. Even that would be more direct, right? To just say to somebody, I get that you're upset, and I don't have any stake in helping you to change that. Right? For X, Y, or Z reason, you could articulate it, or just, I don't have the time, I don't have the bandwidth, you don't matter enough to me. All of these things, again, not comfortable to say to somebody, whether it's in text or over a Zoom call or face-to-face. And it is the kind and honest thing to say. It's like when you break up with somebody and you say, it's really not about you, it's about me, I'm not ready. When in fact, the truth is, if you wanted to spend time with that person, you would find a way to spend time with that person. I always think of that book and then the movie, He's Just Not That Into You, when people say things like that, because clearly we've all had those experiences in our personal lives where if we want to spend time with somebody, if it's that important to us, we will move heaven and hell. We will climb a mountain. We will swim a river. We will do whatever it takes to show up because it matters to us. Even if it only matters to us that the other person matters to us, we'll do what is required, right? Winners do what they have to do. We'll show up. And if you're not that motivated to do it, wouldn't it be better to just tell the truth? I'm not that interested. I'm mildly interested. I'm somewhat interested. I'm interested if it's super convenient and easy for me. And if it isn't, maybe not so much. So this is, and obviously today's episode is just the beginning of starting to explore how we look at communication. So we can consider this part one of this conversation, but I feel like this is enough to chew on for a day, is to just think about how we talk to ourselves and definitely how we talk to other people. And hopefully before you would say something as disingenuous as, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way again, if you've ever said it before, this is an opportunity for you to look at how else could you communicate to somebody, they're having feelings, you don't really care, you don't want to be a dick or a jerk about it, and you're drawing a boundary. There's a clean and integrous way to do that that doesn't make you a jerk, a passive-aggressive jerk. And should somebody try to visit that on you, what can you do to call them on it and say, you're really not. So it would be better if you didn't fake apology to me. Why don't you just either say something else or let's just end this conversation? Because I don't need your fake empathy or sympathy. I'd rather have nothing from you than that. That's kind of garbage, right? I mean, be like leaving recycling on somebody else's doorstep with a Post-it saying, hey, when you get a moment, could you throw this in the bin for me? So that's, I think, a fine place for us to leave this today. I'll look forward to exploring more communication opportunities to declutter our speech in future episodes. Thanks again, Clutter Warrior. See you soon.